What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we are going to be talking about why men need to learn to be alone. All right, and most people will already describe themselves as either an introvert or an extrovert. You can walk up to somebody and anybody and pretty much ask them, which one of these two are you? And they'll give you an example and they'll be like, oh yeah, this is an example of me being an introvert or me being an extrovert. And ultimately, what an introvert means is that you derive energy from being alone. When you are by yourself, you get recharged. Being an extrovert means that you derive energy from being around other people. And when you're alone, you start to feel drained, you feel giddy, you feel like you need to get out and do things. People that are extroverts will experience FOMO a lot, the fear of missing out. They'll be constantly scared that they're not at a specific social event or that they're missing out on doing something fun. And oftentimes they're very scared of being alone. While the introverts tend to be scared of having a ton of back-to-back social interactions because they're going to feel incredibly drained and they'd rather just go by themselves in a room and recharge. Now, a lot of people will stamp themselves with a specific identity of being one or the other. I am an introvert or I am an extrovert. And although we all have a natural inclination towards one or the other, part of it is genetic, and part of it probably has to do with our upbringing and the environment that we've lived in and the experiences that we've had throughout our life. But I believe that as a man, you must practice fluidity between these two states. I believe that you should try to be able to switch back and forth between these two in order to maximize your performance and your output in life. And I think that you will enjoy life a lot more once you are able to seamlessly go back and forth between introversion and extroversion. Now, if you don't think that this can be done, which a lot of people don't, a lot of introverts that I talk to think that it's absolutely insane, the idea of trying to become extroverted. And a lot of the extroverts that I talk to think that it's absolutely crazy to try to get good at being alone. They're terrified of it. But the truth is, it can be done. I personally did it. I started out when I was younger as an extrovert. I was somebody who thrived off of being in environments with other people. I would now describe myself as more of an introverted person because of the habits that I've developed, and it has taken a lot of intention and focus towards introversion in order to make myself switch. And now I feel comfortable in both situations, but at the same time, I am able to derive energy both from being by myself, and I'm also able to derive energy from being with other people. Now, focusing on introversion in this video is what we're going to be doing. And I am ultimately going to be talking why I think every single man needs to harness the power of being alone and be able to tap into the energy potential that comes with it. Now, what you need to understand is that, number one, introversion is incredibly powerful. Being able to derive energy when you are alone because it gives you the ability to separate and access an internal energy source, meaning you don't need somebody else, you don't need something else to be happening. All you have to do is separate yourself from everything, and you can find peace and you can recharge. For example, when I was young, I personally learned to work out all alone at a very, very young age. By myself. I would go to the gym Even if it meant nobody else was there, even if it meant it was in the middle of the night and there was nobody else in the gym, I had it all to myself, I would still go. I know a lot of people, and myself included, that work out in groups. And when you work out in groups with other people, you tend to create this herd mentality and you create this community that's based around a specific habit, that's based around performing a specific task that is beneficial to you. And what I would see is that the people that would rely on the other people to go, they would rely on this sense of community, this social gathering occasion to go to the gym. When their friend group stopped going, they themselves would stop going as well. They would fall off. Even though going to the gym was something that was so incredibly important, even though the physical exercise and becoming stronger is so beneficial to you as an individual, for some reason, when people take away the community factor, people would stop going. And it's one of the reasons why group fitness like CrossFit and Orange Theory and cycling classes, it's why so many people choose to go and do their fitness with other people, is because they like getting that sense of community. But if you rely on that, as soon as you lose it, then you lose the ability to be internally motivated, to be motivated by yourself. As a man, you need to get used to doing things on your own, because most of your self-work, most of your inwardly focused work will take place when no one else is around, when no one else is watching. It is commonly said that 10,000 hours is what it takes to achieve mastery in a specific field. 10,000 hours of practicing perfection when it comes to a specific task or a specific skill is what is needed in order for you to master it. You think that you can do 10,000 hours of work on something all while being in the presence of other people? No. In fact, most of the people that you choose to be around, most of the people that everybody chooses to be around are others that don't tend to be very disciplined. They don't tend to stick to things. They don't hold true to their word. Most people are fickle. Most people are not disciplined. Most people are not consistent. So what you have to understand is that if you want to master something, that is going to be a lonely road. It is going to be a road that you are going to have to walk a lot of it by yourself. And laziness lies on both ends of the spectrum. You can be lazy when you're with people. You can be distracting yourself at a social gathering. You can also be distracting yourself at home with porn, with video games, by watching TV. Just because you are introverted does not mean that you are going to get stuff done. Just because you are introverted does not mean that you are going to be able to master something. Focus is incredibly important. But what you need to understand is that you can't rely on other people to keep you consistent, to keep you disciplined. The men who are constantly relying on others, whether it's a need for social gatherings for validation or the need for a woman for validation, they will always struggle to fully chase their purpose and master the skills that are needed in order to make you successful. These people tend to get sucked into things that they don't even want to do. A lot of the times, they don't even want to do specific things that the friend group is doing, but they go along with it anyway because they need this validation and they need this sense of community. They cannot stand to be alone. That should not be you. You should always have that fallback of introversion and being able to say, hey, if something's going on that I don't really want to be a part of, I'm not going to get FOMO. I'm not going to get worried that I'm missing out. I'm going to go work on my craft. I'm going to go do something. So don't get sucked into things like drinking, like doing drugs because of peer pressure, because this is where most of the people tend to make mistakes. They tend to make compromises when they're with other people because they're trying to appear like they're fun. They're trying to blend in. They're trying to go with the flow. They're trying to fit the mold. When in reality, what is going to make you successful is not fitting the mold. It's not going with everybody else. It's not doing the things that everybody else is doing. If you wanted to be average, that's exactly what you should do. But if you're searching for mastery, you need to be able to leave. You need to be able to go alone by yourself and still have that high drive, that high energy, that fire burning within you. Focus on the skills that you need to build, and the money will flow. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur. I don't care if you work at your job. Make yourself a Swiss Army knife. Become the person that is worthy of high earning. Make yourself somebody that is worthy of a better position at a company. Make yourself somebody that is worthy of being around other people that are also consistent and disciplined. If you do this, you can prioritize your skill building instead of prioritizing social gathering. And one thing that I really want to highlight is that I'm not saying that you shouldn't have any friends. I'm not saying that you need to be this Sigma male, this lone wolf, that you need to be on your winter arc constantly separating yourself from everybody, turning down every single invitation to community or a gathering. That is not what I am saying at all. And in fact, having a brotherhood, having men that you are around, having a community is incredibly important. But so many people distract themselves with this community rather than using it to help the rest of their life. They use that community as an escape instead of being inwardly focused. So what you need to understand is that community is not wrong. So many men can't even be alone with themselves. That's what you have to get used to. You need to learn to use it as a positive aspect in order to get ahead in life, in order to be successful. And when a man is ultimately alone, he learns how to focus, or he is completely distracted and thrown off course. Like I said, the pornography, the video games, the TV. The internally motivated man can focus, he can build, and he can learn, and he knows what he wants. It comes from having set goals of what he is trying to achieve. And you can't set goals for yourself. You can't stick to a narrow path if you are not making sacrifices. And what are you supposed to sacrifice? You're supposed to sacrifice your vices. You're supposed to sacrifice your short-term gratification. The things that might feel really good right now, but are ultimately down the line not going to benefit you at all. I am trying to help you guys realize that things like video games are a reflection of you not pursuing your higher purpose with your time spent alone. I'm not ragging on video games to try to make you guys feel like I'm so much holier than you. A lot of people get offended and they start attacking me because they think that's what I'm trying to do. They say, oh, Brandon, like, come on, video games aren't wrong. Like, there is nothing inherently wrong or evil about the video games. I'm not a parent that's saying, hey, you need to stop playing your video games, stop killing people on Call of Duty. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that what you choose to do with your free time when you are by yourself is a reflection of your internal state, your internal drive. And if you are seeking to distract yourself when you are alone instead of working towards something, then you have a problem. You have a problem, and I guarantee you that 10 years from now, you're not going to be where you want to be. You're going to look back and you're going to see all of this wasted time, all of this wasted potential. I got a text from one of my clients who I worked with for a couple years today. And he texted me and he said, I just wanted to apologize. I'm looking back now and I realize that I didn't take your time working with me seriously when all you ever wanted to do for me was help me understand my own potential without the drugs, without the liquor, without the women. I wish I realized it sooner. This is what I want for you guys. I want you to practice sacrificing your vices. I want you to practice learning to be alone, learning to capitalize on that introversion, not being reliant on other people's thoughts, not being reliant on their validation. Because if you show that reliance on their validation, they are going to dictate where you end up. And if where you end up is dictated by the average person, by going with the flow, you're going to end up stuck in a pool of mediocrity. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to drop a thumbs up down below. Drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you guys watched all the way through to the end of this video. It means that you guys have an awesome attention span. Hopefully this video was pretty helpful for a lot of you guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.